Today, we're going to go through a quick masterclass for founders using AI to create a brand voice and DM scripts that convert. Here's your opportunity. As you're listening to me this right now, this is going to be a huge opportunity for you. And by the end of this is what you're going to have the capability of doing. Number one, you're going to be able to craft personalized DMs that convert, right? So that's the first thing. Obviously, that's really, really valuable for everybody that's here. Secondly, we're going to go through and talk about building authentic connections that foster loyalty and trust. Obviously, when you get the no trust factor and the barriers come down and you can get somebody to jump over that action threshold by giving the credit card, that's what we do. That's how we get loyalty and trust. And then lastly, of course, streamlining the outreach process to save time using FlowChat. That's where we're going today. So here's what most people believe when it comes to AI, right? If you're a non-techie, non-AI person, you probably might be thinking like AI is too complicated for non-techies. But in reality, the tools that are being developed now, including FlowChat and all the other ones, are super user-friendly, intuitive, and designed for everyone to actually get some traction. It's not just for the tech wizards. And as they say, if you can send a DM, you can harness AI. That's it, right? That's why we've put AI at your fingertips in the messaging inbox. Second myth most people think about is like, well, hold on a second, Sean, AI-generated content just lacks authenticity. And that is true if you're not really, really sure on how to guide it correctly. See, because when you guide AI correctly, it can capture your unique brand voice, can maintain authenticity, can make your messages more relatable and engaging. So now that we've squashed the two main myths that you might have in your head, I'm going to share a little story about the tale of two brands. Very interesting. I want you to be in the position as if these messaging sequences I'm about to share with you were delivered to you. First, I'm going to go through brand X, then I'm going to go through brand Y. And at the end, you're going to write in the chat roll which of these brands you would respond to in the DMs. Very simple. So brand X is Flow. They happen to have a CRM that helps with messaging. So their first message is this. Hello, Sarah. Now, put your name there, obviously. Hello, Sarah. Are you interested in our CRM solution? It has many features that can help you win in the DMs. If you got this as a first message, there's a couple of ways you can go. The majority of people are going to be like, yuck, this is terrible. F this, I'm out. And they're going to just mark as spam, do not reply ever. That's one option. That's probably the most possible or probable thing that's going to happen. Number two is you would say, if you like to be a little bit cheeky, you'd come back and you'd say something back to brand X. This is the dumbest message I've ever seen, right? That's an option. And then the third one would be, maybe you are interested in CRM solution. So you actually click through brand X's profile, you go to their profile and you say, oh yeah, this is something I want. And then you might come back and start responding. Those are key possible outcomes that would happen. Most of the time it's going to be that option one where you're like, this is the most horrible message I've ever seen, and screw off, right? Then they come back a day later. If you don't respond to anything, let's say you're in that first bucket, and then you're like, hey there, Sarah, check out our awesome CRM. It's totally going to rock your world. Again, there's no value in this conversation. It's pretty bland and dry. Message three a day later. Dear valued customer, we would like to offer you a discount on our CRM product. Let's book a call. Right. They forgot your name. They didn't offer anything, and they're already going to discounts, which tells me brand X sucks at messaging pretty much, right? So if you got that message, it would not feel the greatest. It would not feel authentic, genuine. And this is unfortunately what most people do. Now let's look on the other side with brand Y. Brand Y is a little bit smarter, and they came at it like this. First message. I love what you're doing, Sarah. Your dedication to growth and innovation is seriously impressive. Quick question. How's your DM outreach going lately? Many founders find it challenging to get responses in their DMs. Have you experienced this too? It's a simple question. It's something that anyone would answer. There's no pressure. There's no thought. It makes it easy for your clients to answer some things that you want. And so that one might get you thinking, and you might come back and actually answer that question. You'd be curious. You'd learn a little bit more. Brand Y comes back the next day. Maybe you said, hey, like, yes, I've actually struggled with that. Message two, hey, what's been your biggest hurdle with the DM engagement so far? And now it's just a general conversation. There's no sales in this at all. And they come back, you say something, you say, that makes sense. Personalization can be tough. How are you currently crafting your DM messages, right? And then you say, well, I'm crafting them this way. And you say, got it. And how often do you follow up with leads after the initial DM? oh, I don't follow up that much, or I have a problem following up, or whatever they say, right? This is all information that you can ask a prospect that will give to you that you can use then to turn around and close the deal. Finally, they come back with a fifth message. Notice brand X only had 3 messages, brand Y has 5. It sounds like you're on the right track, but maybe missing a few key strategies to boost engagement. I'd love to share some insights that have helped other founders significantly improve their rates. How about we hop on a call to dive deeper into this? I promise it'll be worth your time. Here's the link. Looking forward to connecting and helping you take your DM game to the next level. Now, my question is, if you received both of those flows, which one would you be more likely to respond to? Would it be brand X or brand Y? Just drop a X or a Y in the chat roll. I think everybody will say the same thing. Brand Y is going to be the one that's going to drive most of the engagement, right? Real stuff. So we don't want to be like brand X. We want to be more like brand Y. Let's get into it, right? So here's the framework that will help you guys tremendously today. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go through this little exercise of creating your brand voice. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then we're going to show you how to use that brand voice to create a DM messaging sequence. And then lastly, split testing and optimizing. This is where FlowChat can really serve you guys. So let's get into the first one really quick and simple. How do you create your brand voice using AI? Step 1. Find your muse. Choose a piece of writing from someone whose style you admire. Maybe it's Neil Patel. Maybe it's Russell Brunson. Maybe it's Frank Kern. Maybe it's Taylor Welch. Maybe it's Chris. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's somebody who writes consistently either blog posts, content posts that you like, anything. So go find somebody that you like the style of how they market. And more importantly, that you believe that style would connect with your audience. So whoever that person is, maybe it's 1 or 2 or 3 people. I've done, I don't know, tens of dozens and dozens of them just to see what the brand voice looks like. And I read it. And then you use this magic AI prompt, and then we do some refinement. So this is a screenshot worthy paper, and I'll give you this prompt after in the chat roll here. But if you're watching this and I don't have a chat roll to send this to you, please take a picture, because this is the prompt that you're going on to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste this prompt into any of the AI systems that you can find out there. And then we're going to go copy a blog article or the content that's been written by somebody that you like their style. And we're going to enter that right where it says enter sample. And when we do that, we hit go, and it's going to kick out some things in a brand voice and read through those. And then we copy and paste that on a piece of paper, and we make a few changes to make sure that it's exactly what we want, right? Here's kind of what it looks like. So it's going to say vocabulary. This author uses this type of vocabulary and tone and grammar and rhetorical devices. And here's the content patterns and the values, the engagement techniques, persuasion, formatting, and writing voice. So you can do all of that. You can pull all of that out of anybody's writing anywhere at any time, just using that prompt I just shared with you. Really powerful. Once you've pulled out this prompt, we tweak it to make it exactly what we want. And now we move to step 2, which we have our brand voice now, and we want to create a DM messaging sequence. Well, how do we do that? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define our goal. What is it that you want to achieve with your DMs? Write this down on a piece of paper. I want to book calls. I want to close deals in Messenger. I want to get people to my website. I want to get more downloads on my podcast or YouTube channel. I want to fill up a challenge. I want to whatever it is. Write down your achievement that you want. Secondly, we're now going to use your new brand voice to write a sequence of messages that guide prospects through a journey from introduction to the conversion that you're looking to achieve. What does it look like? It's called tip to tail. The tip is you're telling AI who you want them to be. The middle is what you want them to create. And the tail is the writing style that you want them to use. When you prompt AI in this fashion, it gets very hyper specific. Here's an example. This is the one I used. You are, so what I'm doing is I'm telling AI who they are. You're a world-class business owner and people look up to you. They want to be like you, use the same tools you do, take the same hobbies as you like, and buy everything you have to sell. You're the co-founder of, I used FlowChat, an award-winning software that completely disrupted how businesses use DMs to communicate. So that's part 1, the tip. Middle is, please create a 2-way conversational DM messaging script to get the founder, my target, potentially struggling with using DM methods to grow our business, to connect, engage, reply, and book a call. That's what I want my outcome to be. That's what I asked AI to create. The messaging sequence must include an arrangement or engagement complement, 2 to 3 transitional questions to determine whether or not it makes sense for her to book a call, and an invitation to book call, then a booking link message. That's what I want AI to build for me, very specifically. And then I take my voice and I say, use the following writing style, and I paste that writing voice. And when you do this and you hit go, it spits out something that's amazing. Now we have our first initial message. We would have to tweak it a little bit, right? So I've been following your journey with their business, or I've been following your journey, first name. Absolutely love what you're doing. Your dedication to growth and innovation is seriously impressive. Quick question. How's your DM outreach going lately? Many founders find it challenging to get responses. Have you experienced this? That's the exact first message I shared with you a little bit earlier. That's how it works, right? And then it'll actually kick out the entire DM messaging conversation for you. All you have to do now is you take the part where it says you and you dump that into each stage on your pipeline flow, and voila, you've used AI to create an unbelievably close DM messaging sequence. You might have to change it in real talk, right? No prompt is perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Not even Taylor Swift, even though she's like as close to perfect in the music space as you can get. You have to edit and adjust your messaging just a little bit. So now you know how to create that messaging sequence. And then the last piece is just split testing and optimizing, right? Initial testing. So what you want to do is you want to take that first message, you want to send it out to a small segment of your audience or a small segment of cold audience to see if it's getting engagement. Remember the 4 hinge points of the conversation. Number 1 is to get engagement. So when we start building pipelines, the most important thing that you can ever do is focus on the first message, getting engagement. When you get engagement, that's a win. That's what we celebrate. So if you ever ask, like, hey, what's a big win? You can say, I just got a bunch of engagement on my first message. Like, hey, I would cheer with you for that, right? And then you go on to the second is transition, and the third and the fourth and the fifth, right? So analyze results, which message, so like if first one didn't get engagement, tweak or tune it, change it, and then try again, which ones fell flat. Then you refine and perfect, and you get this thing optimized. And usually what I've seen over the course of 3 decades is when you optimize a flow or refine a pipeline to get it to where you want it to be, it typically can take anywhere from about 2 weeks to maybe 90 days to get that thing like perfect. But once it's perfect, look, you never have to change it because it's not like a paid ad. See, paid ads fatigue. What that means is you spend a lot of money with whatever platform, they show it to the person you want to show it to. And then those people say, don't show me this ad. And that's when your ad starts to fatigue. That's when the Facebook will start to charge you more money and give you less reach. That's what we don't want to happen. DM messages are on the other side of the tracks. Once you get them dialed in, they never fatigue because it's 1-to-1. That's beautiful. Okay. Another snapshot worthy page that you want to take a picture of, because this is the accepted range. Now, this was a campaign that Chris and I ran a number of years ago. And what this was, we were selling mastermind memberships for around $6,000 and wanted to figure out, because we had 15 spots available in our mastermind. And we worked our calculations to understand that if we had 75 calls completed, we would close at least 15 deals. And so that's what happened. We took 75 calls over the period of 41 days. So me and him taking calls for 41 days. We took 75 of them total, and we closed 17 people at 6K. That's over $100,000 in 41 days. That's how we did it, right? And what we determined, and what's really important for you, is the ranges. The ranges are the most important things on the slide to look at, because you want to be within the range. So that initial message that you're sending, if you're getting between a 10 to 40% response, you're in the green. Okay, means move on. Now what we want to do is we want to go to the next stage, which is booked calls. So you see it says new group members. For us, an engagement was considered in this particular formula when somebody became a group member. So we reached out to 1,400 people. We got 230 people to join our group from our first initial message, which is a 16.4% actual. Then we took those 230 group members and we conversated with them in the DMs using our flow that we had built using our AI voice. And we got 37% of them to book calls. Again, the range here is going to be 20 to 50%. And then of those book calls, we got 85. We actually had a show up rate of 75 of 85. So that's an 88.2% show rate. Again, your show rate should be 70 to 90% as the range. And then of those calls, Chris and I closed at 22.7% at 6K product. That close rate should be 10 to 30%. And again, if you're closing 3 out of 3 every single time you get on the phone, raise your prices. If you're closing 2 out of 3 every time on the phone, raise your prices. You should be hanging around that 1 out of 3 opportunities on the phone is the ones that you're closing. That is a typical solid rate. So these are benchmarks for you to play against. Sometimes people are way better, sometimes people aren't. But now you understand how to create your brand voice, right? How to build a messaging sequence from the brand voice, and then how to split test and optimize. And the only thing that's really left to do is look at some results. Done well, look at this. Our team booked me 17 sales conversations and 1 group live in a single week. Now, you might not want that much volume, but we're crazy and we do. So this is what it can look like when it's done well. It works all over the place. This was Adam, and no Adam, he came, runs the SBM mastermind. He do 7 figures this year from FlowChat for sure. Just using this kind of same formula. Here's Sahil, did the same thing. He booked 21 calls, were booked in a single day. And then his whole team booked over 100 calls in a single week using this formula. So it's not just us, it's lots and lots of people. Here's the number one challenge you're going to run into doing this, getting started, right? You probably are like, Sean, this is awesome. I love the prompts. I love the thing, but man, I don't have time today. Well, here's what I want you to do today. Find someone who writes the copy that you want to write your own copy to your tribe, and just grab a sample of that and dump it on a Google Doc. Then take the prompt I'm about to give you in the messenger and pull out their writing style, and then create the messaging sequence so that you can start using this formula today. That's it, right? So now you know how to craft personalized DMs that convert, because we're using AI and some support, build authentic connections that foster loyalty and trust, and streamline your outreach approach to save time using FlowChat. Most people look at this and they're like, whoa. That said, that's all I got for you today. Go FlowChat.